Welcome to Taylor Day. So the customer came in, pickup doesn't work. Big surprise there. Expression systems, these are interesting little gizmos in that you get these top sensors, which you get two of these, like one up here and one over here, and those plug in here. Then you've got the magnetic pickup with the dummy coil that plugs in. These look like. And this goes in under the neck, and this goes up underneath the neck, and they plug in here. Now, all of these are, I think they're in series, because what happens if one of these things goes bad, it all just shuts off. So, in order to show you this, let's see, get another. This is the end pin that goes on that side. So on this one, I've actually, I went around and troubleshot the entire thing. I have a couple different systems on hand that I could test it with. But anyway, here's what it sounds like. So there's no sound coming out of here at all. I tried a couple different Cat 5 cables. You know, tried swapping out the pickups, but here's what happens. I even tried swapping out different boards. Like I have 4 of these things, so they all did the same thing. So I'm like, well, I swapped out the logic board in here with another one of these. Didn't help it out. So, and I've had it happen before, where a top sensor or the dummy coil or something goes bad, and when it does this. So I was like, well, let's take a system that actually does work, and maybe pull the top sensors out and plug in a different top sensor. Still nothing. Let's pull out a different one. You can see where I'm going with this. Oh, but still nothing. And I got the volume all the way up. All right, well, let's put in a different magnetic pickup then. Here's a magnetic pickup in the dummy coil. And what happens? Oh, hey, it came back to life. Look at that. Okay, so now we have a working system. Everything's working. The tailpiece is working. The board's working. All the sensors are working. The pickup's working. It's all working. And so now we can say, okay, well, which one of these things? Because like now that it's all working, right? If I say, well, let's see, we got a top sensor that's bad. So we plug in the top sensor that we know is bad. And look, nothing. It's back to the humming. And you can see I taped the ones that are in the guitar, have the blue tape on them. Well, so that was number 1. Let's try number 2. Still nothing. Okay. Number 3. Nothing. You're kidding me, right? Get that out of there. Come on. Get out. We'll plug the good one back in. It's working again, right? Well, certainly the dummy coil couldn't be bad. That would be number 4, I believe, is what the dummy coil is. That's this one. Certainly there's nothing wrong with that. Like, what could go wrong with the dummy coil? Actually quieted down, but it's still not working. So what if it was the, that's the good one. If it was the magnetic pickup, which is number 3. Oh, now you see the magnetic pickup works now. All right, so that one actually works. So we don't have to replace this. This is okay. You have been exonerated. So basically these 2 top sensors and the dummy coil all have to be replaced. Can you believe that? Now, in order to do this, you got to get yourself a spatula of some sort, because we got to get in there and we got to like peel off the old sensors. So I've got this on hand. This will work pretty well. This little palette knife. Get in there and just pry that thing off. So there's 2 top sensors, one here and one here, and then the dummy coil. We'll devise a plan as we go. I've taken them off before. Usually it's kind of an ugly business. There you have it. Oh. Yeah, that could be a problem. There's a wire that's detached. And this one just popped apart. That also has a broken wire. So why are the wires broken on these? So in this case, you could actually fix this, which is what I'm going to do. Let's give it a try. As for the dummy coil, maybe that's broken too. Maybe, I don't know. It's like this is when I'm like, well, how did that happen? Like, somebody just reaching around inside there and ganked it? I don't know. I don't know. These wires are so tiny. And there's 2. That was easier. All right. Now, before we plug all this back in, or set all this back up, we plug it back in to make sure that it's working. Hey! Back in business. And all we really need to replace is that broken sensor in the dummy coil. We fixed that one. So now we're down to 2 parts instead of 4 that we need to replace. Okay, now we can put it all back together. Well, as soon as we put that new dummy coil in. I just like saying dummy coil. Did you notice that? And now it works. It's all working. We can put it back together. Hallelujah. All right. All right. Now another thing about putting these in is you have to make sure you don't throw this thing away. I'll take a little sensor here. We can give you a little display here. So I don't know if you can see that. I think that side shines a little bit better. But you see how there's like a line, and when the line turns as I spin the magnet behind it. So that shows you the polarization of the magnet, north to south. Now, when you're putting these in, you put this on the top of the guitar, and you twist it until the line goes with the grains of the wood, is what they say. I've always done it this way. I don't know what happens when you don't do it this way. There might be some phase issues with the pickups. I don't know, but they're so far away from each other, it's like they're not really, magnetically affecting each other because they're at such a distance. But like when they connect at the board, you want them to be orientated the same way. So it's good to know. So save this little green piece of paper. Like if you get a new system, they'll put one in there for it. But if not, I think they sell them on their website. All right, now things seem to be working. Things seem to be in the right places. Everything's plugged back in. I want to make sure the volume's on this side. I always gotta forget which side is which, but you don't want to put this thing in backwards. But before we put it in, I want to make sure it works still. Okay. Okay, that's the volume. And that's on that side. So circuits go up. All right, that's all we needed to know. Thank you very much. key. So this is like this tool that Taylor makes to, it's like a screwdriver that has a thing on it with two little things. I've actually made my own little key here out of a metal guitar pick. I've had this thing for years, and just cut notches out in different shapes that you need them for different things. I can't even remember what. See, that one's got a couple pins on it. I'm sure that there was something that I made that for that, you know, had a couple holes in the screw or something, but this is my Taylor one. And you just stick it on there and you can tighten these things up. You can make your own tools for this stuff. It's not rocket science. It's nice to tighten these things up without marking the surface up at all. And like, you could use needle nose pliers or something on that just to get the job done, but you'll end up scratching the finish. Anyway, a little ingenuity goes a long way. Get the knobs back on. Test it one more time. This is why and she's all working now. So all that's left to do now is just to reach in there and tether the wires to hold them, because the Cat 5 and the sensor cable, this thing is just kind of rattling around. But so we didn't need to use the new one, interesting enough, but that's kind of how it works with these things. So when you get a hum, test the components one by one, plug one in if it doesn't solve the humming, and then that's how you troubleshoot it. There's no other way to do it. Check the connecting wires to the top sensors. It's tough to do. Like, you can stick a mirror or an endoscope in there if you can, and see if you can see a broken wire, but they're really tough to see unless you actually have it in your hand right in front of you. But you can suspect that that's what's going on, so you're probably going to end up having to pull it out anyway, just to fix it. So, but when you identify the culprits, yank them out, put in new parts. The Taylor Expression System.